So you're telling me there's a chance the Packers can make the postseason? You're telling me there's a shot. Let's go to the intro.
This is Tom Grassi, and you're watching the PackReacts podcast.
Let's go.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to PackReacts. I'm your co-host, Jeremy Hadler, our other co-host, Mike, and we have our new person we like to have on is John. We like to have John.
What's going on?
Thanks for joining again, John.
Thanks for having me again. Third time, I think.
No problem.
Yes.
No problem. Well, Packers, they won big, guys. They won big, and it's been a 2-game winning streak. So Thanksgiving was the magic there, I like to say, for that, despite Jordan Love not getting his turkey leg. Magic for us there. Magic for us. Now, because of that win, when everyone, like a month ago, including everyone here, was like, Packers down. They ain't going anywhere. Just get a top 3 pick and blah, blah, blah. That's our year. Somehow they've turned around a bit there, the offense especially, and now they can have a chance to make the postseason. Do we think that is a shot there, boys?
Mike, you can go first.
I definitely think it's a shot. I mean, I think we did the New York Times playoff predictor. It was pretty good there, like 49%. I think it's more of a what do you call it? Just a mathematical thing about the level of competition in the NFC, kind of the injuries that have happened. I don't think it's necessarily we deserve to be there, but I mean, the Packers have a pretty easy schedule coming up. The Chiefs are their largest competitor. Then they have the Giants, the Bears, the Vikings. They have Buccaneers and Panthers, right? So like those are all beatable teams. And I mean, I think he definitely have a chance to make the playoffs. I almost bet that they would make the playoffs at this point, but I don't think they're going to go very far. But who knows? I mean, sometimes you just have to get into the dance and then see how far you can make it, right? You can't be the prom king if you don't go to the king or the prom, right? So you have to be in order to have a chance. And sometimes just being in. You said the last time that we won the Super Bowl, we were the last seed, right? There wasn't 7 teams per conference at the time. There was only 6, but it's definitely possible. So yeah, that was a big win against the Lions. I don't think anyone's going to deny it, especially me being a person who's been kind of, a naysayer. I'm a self-proclaimed naysayer the past few weeks.
That's true.
But this was a big win, I got to say. So I definitely feel good, but I still don't think this team's going to beat the bigger teams in the league. I don't think we should get ahead of ourselves. So. What do you think, John?
Look, I don't know. I don't think they're going to beat the bigger teams either. And I don't think they're going to beat the Chiefs. But I also don't think it matters if they beat the Chiefs. I think we have a playoff team on our hands. I think it's going to happen. I think Jordan Love is playing playoff football in January. And I'll tell you why. Yes, it's. I agree with you. I don't know if they deserve it because if you put this team in the NFC most other years, it's probably nowhere close to a playoff team.
Mm-hmm.
Just the state of the NFC, I think the Packers are a playoff team this year. I think 4-2 from here gets you 9-7. I think the Vikings are in no man's land with Josh Dobbs. I think Seahawks probably are one of the 2 wild cards. But beyond that, I don't think the Rams are going anywhere. I think whoever is second in the NFC South isn't going anywhere. And it's an easy schedule, but it's more than an easy schedule. I don't know about the metrics. I don't know about win percentage or whatever it is for the next 6 weeks. This has got to be the easiest schedule in the NFL. It's the Chiefs, and then it's 5 really bad teams. Mm-hmm. If you watch the Bears and the Vikings on Monday, that's 2 really bad teams. The Panthers are the worst NFL team I've seen in quite a while. There's no way they're going to lose to the Buccaneers in December in Lambeau. And then the Giants on their 3rd-string quarterback, therefore, I don't see it. I think it's a very runnable table. Knowing the Packers will probably lose one of those games, There's no way they beat the Chiefs on Sunday, but that's okay. Nobody expects them to. They don't need it. I think they're a playoff team. I think they're going to Philly, or they're going to Detroit, or they're going to San Francisco and playing a wild card game.
Nice. For me, I said this year, if they make it into the postseason, wild card spot, and they get blown out the first round, that's my goal. I'm happy with that. Perfectly fine with that. That's what I would want. And just want that to see it there. And nice. Oh, hold up. We got Mike. There we go. We got Mike back on there.
Sorry about that, guys.
So yeah, I think like this team is definitely playoff caliber team. Now we might have not deserved it, but what we've seen these past couple of weeks with the Chargers game and the Lions game, this team has built. You see the receivers, Watson finally getting more involved. The young receivers, Jaden Reed. You see it with Wicks. You see it with Heath. Dobbs. You see it with all these guys. I mean, the run game's terrible. We get that, but you're building it. You're building it up, and that's what I like to see out there. Matt LaFleur has changed a little bit there, because if you go on PackReacts, what we had out there was the narratives heading into that game. Every single narrative we had out there changed. Rashawn Gary was great, but not elite. He showed his case there. Matt LaFleur making adjustments. Can he coach better? He did. Jordan Love played his best game this year, in my opinion. Quadfather, he had a spectacular game. I love the jump over the defender. That was the funniest move there.
Jump's a strong word.
Well, stride.
He jumped. I don't know if he jumped over anybody.
I think it was a stride jump, but yeah, I think it was that. But anyway, yeah, so there's that. I'd like to give, which I don't like to do this, congrats to Joe Barry for actually putting up a defensive scheme there. I'm not going to say your job's safe, buddy. You got to show it to me the rest of the way for that to be current. But yeah, I think this is definitely doable. We're in the same shoes we were last year. We had Rodgers. Now you got the new guy, Jordan Love. Now, we kind of need to be scheduled like last year. Question is, can we do it? And I think, we need the help. I think that's going to happen. But the important thing is you got to take this one game at a time. We got to focus on, can we win this week? We're probably not going to beat the Chiefs. I'm just going to say it. We're probably not. But we could. And if we lose them, that's fine. The most important games is your own, Packers. You got to take care of your business. You have to beat the Panthers. You have to beat the Vikings. That is definitely crucial, in my opinion. Despite Josh Dobbs not performing well, the Vikings could come back because Justin Jefferson's coming off the IR and all that. So I think you have to take care of it game by game. Because last year, me and Mike said early in the schedule, they're going to run through Giants in London. You're going to go through this, go through that. And look what happened. We were wrong. So you got to take one game at a time and not be too optimistic. I get we're playing the Panthers and we're most likely going to win. But I'm not going to say we are going to win, definitely. I'm not trying to jinx the team. I'm trying to let's just ease it out, have some optimistic here, but not let's be Dallas Cowboy fans here. We need Cowboys to win tonight, which we'll talk about that later. But we cannot be delusional Cowboy fans out there. So that's my take. That's my take.
Sorry, guys, I dropped out there for a second. What I was trying to do was open the playoff simulator up, and for some reason my browser's what do you call it?
Oh, I have that up. If you want me to show that, Mike.
Yeah, you want to?
Yeah.
I think you got to do it in both streams.
I'll try if I can.
That's a lot of work.
I don't know if I can do that, but I'll try because I've never tested it before.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
I think you should be able to. But there we go. We're in
well, that was the
streamception right now.
Yeah,
there we go.
Right now, I still see the stream.
You still see the stream?
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me try to stop sharing for a second.
Sorry, guys. Technical difficulties there.
Give me a sec. I got this.
Look, you make a good point, though. Aaron Jones is coming back at some point. Jair's coming back. Stokes is coming back. Savage is coming back. The offensive line is still pretty crappy, but
yeah,
I don't know. It seems like Christian Watson, he's been playing, but he's also coming back because he's showing up again.
Mm-hmm.
It's Dobbs makes 2 plays every game where he looks like prime Donald Driver. Jaden Reed's been balling. It's a shame about Musgrave, but Tucker Kraft's been okay. I don't know. They're kind of cooking on offense, at least for the last 2 games.
Yeah.
And it's possible that we go back and we see the team that lost to the Raiders, which was probably one of the lowest points of the season. I don't know. The teams that get hot week 12, week 13, those are the teams you see sneak into the wild card.
Yeah.
And it makes sense that when you've got the youngest, cheapest offense in the NFL, it takes time, but it's working, at least the last 2 games.
Mhm.
So I'm very hopeful.
Especially when our receiving core is cheaper than Alan Lazard's contract with the New York Jets. So, yeah.
Packers East. Jerry, you mind if I share real quick? I'll start. I have the New York Times one up, or do you want to start with this one?
You share that. I got you.
All right, so I have it on the Twitter. So let me put it on YouTube.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're up here. All right. So John was saying that he doesn't think we can beat the Chiefs this week, but we still can make the playoffs. And that's the thing. That's a big thing. This is an AFC game. Last AFC game we have remaining this year. We
Take
have
the
that.
loss.
You could lose this game. It really doesn't matter, right? So like
AFC losses, those help you in the tiebreaker.
It doesn't change it. It really doesn't.
We're going to have more AFC losses. I think we're going to have either more AFC losses or a head-to-head win against everybody we face in the tiebreaker. Yeah. We'll have a better conference record relative to the Seahawks and the Vikings. Obviously, we're going to have to beat the Vikings, so that would be a head-to-head split, and then I think it would go to conference record.
Mm-hmm.
Beat the Saints. I don't think we'll have to worry about the Falcons, and beat the Rams. I don't know.
I mean, we just need the Falcons to win.
We're kind of lucky that we lost to 3 AFC teams if we lose to the Chiefs, right? You lost to the Broncos, the Raiders, and the Chiefs. Those games mean the least of any game on the schedule. So, it could help. But honestly, guys, I've been to Debbie Downer recently. I think they have a chance to beat the Chiefs.
Oh, they totally have a chance.
They do.
It's not going to happen, but they totally have a chance.
John right there.
I would think it's possible. I mean, I don't want to. We could talk about this game later, but the Chiefs have played down to a lot of their opponents. It's in Lambeau. I think they could beat them. I do think so. But
how great would that be?
But let's just say they don't, right? Right now we have around a 50% chance of making it, right? Let's say the Chiefs win. It goes down to, give or take, I think it was 46 before, now it's 41. So not great. But look at what any of these other games.
Run that table.
Right? Now, John, still to be determined, but hopefully we go to this game, right? Mm-hmm. So I think they're going to get the win there against who? The Italian kid that's playing? What's the guy's name?
Tommy DeVito.
Is that his name?
Yes, Tommy DeVito.
He's still living with his mom or something, but he's a quarterback for an NFL team. Then you got the Buccaneers who, what's his name, got hurt?
Baker
Mayfield, but now I think he came back, so I think he's probably going to play.
The
Panthers who are just, they're falling apart. They just fired their coach.
It would be funny if we just lost the Panthers just to make sure the Bears don't get the number 1 overall pick and we win every other game. That would be
so great. It honestly, the Bears might be the hardest game other than the Chiefs on the schedule. The Bears are playing a lot better.
Yeah.
So is the game that matters this game right now, this Cowboys game? Let's say the Cowboys win.
It does matter a bit there because right now you need the Seahawks to lose 3 more games because that takes them out of the wild card spot. Because if you look, because they lost last week to the Niners on Thanksgiving. If you go look at their schedule, this game and the next 2, hardest schedule for them because they got Cowboys, you got Philadelphia, and you got the 49ers. That's 3. That's 3 potential losses right there. I think you could I think 49ers can sweep it. Eagles scare me a little bit because they like to keep the game very close. So hopefully Eagles don't mess that game. But yeah, I definitely think it's doable. I mean, right now the game's getting very close. The nice thing was I just saw there is the the Seahawks kicker missed a field goal, so now it's 10-7 Cowboys, and they just got the ball back. So
it's a big game. So go Cowboys.
Cowboys.
But yeah, so I think it's gonna be interesting. I think we got a chance. Sorry, I didn't really hear what either of you guys were saying. I got kicked out there for a second, but I think that the Packers are in a good spot compared to where they could have been if they would have lost that game to Detroit. Big game. How did you guys watch that game? Did you watch the whole game? I was like, since it was Thanksgiving, I was like half watching it, unfortunately, because it ended up being a really good game. But the defense played amazing. So,
I mean, I watched the entire bit because I was like, this is gonna be my early birthday gift, and I'm like, I got my birthday wish. I won the wishbone at Thanksgiving. I'm like, I am making sure this team's gonna win, and I prayed, and we won. So that was my happiness. I kept screaming. I lost my voice during the middle of the game. I kept yelling about the fumble parts, and then it was one of the best games. It was the best game I've seen from this team since when I went out to the Minnesota Viking game last year. Because it's been a while since we've seen that kind of win. I mean, the score was close, but come on, it was like a blowout, really. It was a great game. You saw like all of that. Like we got to see Jonathan Owens. He had a terrible game against the Chargers. Steps up, makes great tackles because he cannot make tackles. And all I kept hearing Fox was saying is Simone Biles' husband. I'm like, get that out of there. Give respect to Jonathan Owens out there. Fox was terrible. I liked it. That was the one thing I was very annoyed is
Greg Olson's the worst.
Well, yeah, because especially how they mentioned John Madden the entire time of the thing and how he mentioned the Turduncan, and you don't give it at all. Now, the theory behind it, that from Twitter is what I've heard, is they cooked two. One was for the Lions specifically because they were assuring it was going to be a blowout. That didn't happen. The other one was they just made one, and Greg Olson just had to rip it open in the middle of TV. Hated that.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. The truth has got to come out.
There should be some repercussions from that. That's just ridiculous,
Exactly. It's especially how and then Nagler said it on She Said TV, Fox didn't deny of them saying the lion of they put it on the lion's plate and made sure it would be a lion turkey. They didn't deny that, so I don't know. I'd like to hear some answers about that.
Yeah, they dropped the ball there. And, that's a big life experience that Jordan Love got robbed from. He gets a big win on Thanksgiving, and they don't give him, the turkey leg afterwards. That was ridiculous. Sorry. I was going to say something later, but can I just say it right now?
Yeah,
say it.
So, Tom Grossi retweeted something today. Did you guys see on the Dolphins game where the kid took or Tyreek Hill took this kid's phone on the side and did a flag flip with the phone, and after a touchdown celebration? You guys see that?
Yeah.
No,
this wasn't this week. This was a few weeks ago, earlier this season. John, you saw it?
Yeah, I know. He did a backflip, right?
He did a backflip in the end zone after doing getting a touchdown. So anyway, apparently this kid put something on Twitter today that he got his job basically taken away from him by the NFL, like his credentials.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see that?
Yes.
Right. Because he jumped around on the sidelines after because he was excited that happened. Okay, is it professional? I guess maybe not, but who cares? You're really going to take away this thing because he's a 20-year-old kid. He's in college. He's kind of like you, Jeremy. Someone trying to get started in the industry, putting a lot of effort out there, right? Got all the way to getting credentialed by the NFL, right? And these big NFL guys are going to basically use him as a scapegoat because they're not happy that Tyreek Hill basically made a mockery of their game by taking his phone and did a backflip. Anyone got hurt by that, right? And now basically instead of getting Tyreek Hill in trouble, they're getting him in trouble for jumping around twice afterwards. Are you kidding me? That's absolutely insane. And something needs to happen because, what happens is these guys Roger Goodell, there's no repercussions for them. They could do whatever they want, and there's no repercussions. But then this kid jumps around, hurts absolutely nobody, and loses his right to be on the NFL sideline. It basically stunts his career or hurts him from that aspect. And something needs to be done for this kid. And the other thing is, let Devontae Adams, right? We're all fans of Devontae Adams on this podcast, right? I don't know if you remember last year coming off the sideline, he pushed somebody down, shoved somebody down that was a reporter, right?
Yeah.
Because he was mad of the game. Basically, the kid got in his way. Should he have been crossing? Maybe not. But he basically took out his anger on this kid. And then the kid ended up filing a a police report.
He sued him. Yeah.
He sued him, right? What has the NFL done about that? Did Devontae Adams get a suspension? Did he get a fine? Did he get his rights to be on the field taken away from him? No, because he's Devontae Adams, and they're never going to get rid of Devontae Adams because it's going to hurt the game, right? Money is going to come out. Your best receiver is going to get kicked out because he pushed the kid down. No, but this random 20-year-old thing that no one cares about, they're we'll just get rid of him because he disrespected our game. I'm sorry, that's not cool, and something needs to be done about that. So hopefully, Tyreek Hill retweeted his video that he put out. Tom Grossi repeated. These are the people doing the right thing here. It's the kid. Did he make a mistake? I don't think so. Who cares about jumping on the sideline? It shows happiness. Literally, there's no person getting hurt there. is it professional? Who decides professional? I'm sorry. Like, that's ridiculous. I'm sorry. What are you guys thoughts on that?
I totally agree. Especially like how I got to do, like I was on the sideline like last year when I told you about this, like about like I got to go on. The rules were you couldn't ask you couldn't like do certain amount of things. You were allowed to take video and film. You were not allowed to ask the guy's autograph. Like Crosby was right in front of me. You could not go up and touch him. That was another rule, which I agree with that rule. But the video part, like with the kid, like what the heck is with that? Like I just don't understand. The guy's trying to make content. Let the kid have fun a bit. I mean, yes, in the sports industry, you have to be professional. That's the one rule you have to be in. But in that circumstance where he's just like, I just don't get it. Where the guy's making content and he's being a fan, like that's just like, come on. I think you have to have a certain rule. Like he should be, but there might be. I think there should be a limit of how much you can celebrate. You can't be celebrating like you won the Super Bowl. And now I understand he did get that. Like that's acceptable. I feel like for like the celebration there, but you can't be celebrating like on a sideline if you're just a regular fan of like you won the Super Bowl there because you get on the field and all that. You get messed up and you get thrown out of the ball game. That should not. You can't have that. But with this situation, I think that the NFL is wrong here. They should be giving the guy some respect and not taking his job away. That is out of line there. That's completely out of line. I just don't get that. Like, you have like a kid that's pretty much my age, and he's trying to make content and trying to make a living, get in the industry.
Yeah.
Great. That should be happening.
Right. What do you think, John?
I think you guys said it all. I don't know. I feel like the NFL does this all the time, and then they'll like take the Tyreek Hill backflip video that he took and put it in one of their ads,
right?
Or tweet it or something. It's like what they did when Aaron Jones got fined like $20,000 for waving goodbye to that Cowboys guy when he scored a touchdown, like 2 years ago, and then they used that clip in an ad. So it makes no sense. Most of the fines make no sense.
It's stupid.
It's ridiculous. I agree with you guys.
But what's really frustrating for me here, it's not even the fine. Like, look, you want to find somebody, like they're making millions of dollars. It's fine. It goes to charity. Like, okay, the fine is what it is, right? But to take this kid's job away from him at 20 years old, you know, like he was excited. Like he jumped around. Like, who cares? It's like, if he knocks somebody out, like, okay, yeah, right. That's like dangerous. It's violence. Like he just was happy. Like, really? You're gonna punish him and like hurt his career and take away his credentials because he jumped around. Like Tyreek Hill took his phone out of his hand. Like that was on Tyreek Hill.
What's he supposed to do?
Well, I think what he got in trouble with apparently was after Tyreek Hill left. He like was all excited that it happened and he like jumped around. Like what? Like I'm sorry. Like that's absolutely crazy. And you're right. It's probably something that they're going to use. And here's an example, right? Taylor Swift, who's coming up. We could talk about Taylor Swift a little bit because she's coming to Lambeau. Is she coming to Lambeau? Has anyone seen that?
I don't think she's coming to Lambeau.
I think she's on tour still, if I'm correct.
No, her tour is over.
Not in America. In like the
she came back though. I think she came back.
She came back from the other countries. Oh,
yeah.
I remember it was South America.
There was a funny tweet though. There was a funny tweet though. I forget who did it, but it was like if Taylor Swift shows up to Lambeau, this should be a review to compensate for what the Chiefs did to Love's mom and his girlfriend, and it was a view from like the space station.
Yeah.
I put her in the last row. Don't give her a box.
I mean, this is a revenge game out here. You got Jordan Love. He's going to be with his – like, Andy Reid does not know the guy. He never remembered the guy if you watch that clip. And his parents were literally sitting at the worst seating in the whole Arrowhead Stadium. So if you're going to give tickets to Taylor Swift, put her outside. We don't need her.
That's true. Although there would be what do you call it? There'd be a stampede. They wouldn't even be allowed to do that, like security-wise. They can't put her out there.
You're right.
But it's all, you almost have to be so rich they can't even put you outside. If you come to the game, you have to get a what do you call it? A suite because it's just
you have to get a suite.
It would be a stampede of people. But anyway, the reason why I brought up Taylor Swift is the NFL like completely blew this whole Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce thing out of proportion for one thing and one thing only, right? For their own benefit, because you know there's the Swifties, there's these like group of people that are into pop and like probably not to generalize here, but probably younger women, right? Which probably aren't huge at NFL now, right? Yes. It's a great opportunity for the NFL to try to attract this new kind of viewer base and add eyes and get their ratings up. because girls from, let's say, the ages of like 10 to 30, right? Probably not going to be into the NFL. The majority, if we extrapolate this, now there's plenty of women that like football, and I'm not trying to say anything bad there, but what they're trying to say is we get people that are Swifties, a huge, what do you call it? Group in that age, in that market, right? They can become NFL fans. And the more eyes we get, maybe they end up learning they like football by being on it because Taylor Swift is there, and now our ratings go up. That's why they're leaning into this. They're not leaning into this because the NFL are Swifties. They're leaning because they're trying to get the Swifties in that age group and that viewer base into the NFL. Is that what do you call it? Professional? Like who's the gatekeeper of what's professional and what's not professional? I say it was not professional, right? Like the NFL is focused on one thing, their product. Taylor Swift is not their product. They're basically leveraging a player's personal life for their own benefit.
You bring up a great point that I learned in my communication theory class about this, is the theory of the media. What gets presented, and they're the gatekeepers. What gets displayed, what does not get displayed. This is literally what gets displayed. You put out Taylor Swift content, try to get that audience and that target audience to bring up Renovue, get something there. Because at this point, including Jason Kelsey, I will say a bit too, they're the Kardashians of football.
It's true.
It's just like, you look at it, it's like, you can't stop. Like, you got to have the camera on them. You got to keep saying, like, how many times have we seen Taylor Swift at a football game and we're watching it on our TVs and we see the mention of Taylor Swift? It's ridiculous.
But that's what sells in that group. That's what
I know.
We're trying to get.
I'll tell you what, though. I don't know a lot of Swifties. I know some Swifties. I don't know a lot, though.
I know a lot.
But they're not watching Bears Vikings on Monday Night Football.
No.
They're not watching Chargers Steelers at 1 o'clock on a Sunday. They're going to tune in when they see on Twitter that Taylor Swift at the game. I
agree, but
that's going
to skyrocket the ratings for that game, right? And let's say maybe 1 out of every 15 Swifties that only joined because of Taylor Swift adopts your, what do you call it, your product. That's so many more viewers you never would have got just because Taylor Swift is now there. They wouldn't even have thought to watch the NFL, but Taylor Swift is there. I'm going to watch it now because Taylor Swift is there. And maybe 1 out of 15 adopts it. And the other 14, you're right, like just kind of like, I'm not really interested in this. But 1 out of 15 does. If you extrapolate that, how many Swifties there are, right? That's probably a good number of people that they never would have got. So that's why they're leaning into this. Not because they want Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce to work out. They couldn't care less. You think if you saw Roger Goodell and asked him, would you be attending Travis Kelce and Travis' wedding out of the kindness of your heart? No, absolutely not. He couldn't care less, right? So, like, the reason why they're doing this is to lean into the pop culture thing to get viewers, right? So I don't think that's professional. I don't, but or I think it's fine. Honestly, I don't care. But like the thing is if you're going to lean into that, but then don't lean into this kid who doesn't hurt anybody, and then actually take his job away from him, like cancel him as like the NFL, like that's literally ridiculous. And the thing is, there's nothing we can do to stop the NFL from posting Taylor Swift, right? Like they got the power. So like you don't like it, like we could talk about it in this kind of aspect, but it's just going to get diminished. This kid got his job taken away from him, and you basically like hurt his career because of something that's so minuscule. And I don't know. That's just what I don't like about society. So hopefully this kid gets his job back. Hopefully the powers of Twitter and the internet cancels the NFL over this because that should not be happening. That is not right. So no.
Touchdown Cowboys though.
Yes, sir.
Take it very, very
going. Game's getting out of hand.
All right, moving forward. What's our next segment?
I was thinking we piggyback to the Lions game. We break it down a bit here. This Lions game. First thing I do want to talk about. I mean, we did talk about the turkey thing. Can we talk about like the security guy bumping into LaFleur, please?
That was weird. I don't know what happened with that.
Oh, I don't think I saw that because again, I wasn't fully watching. I had people over. So.
Him and. I don't know if it's. I can't remember who's always the bald guy, the beard, who always is with him. I don't.
Is that the head trainer?
I don't know if it's a head trainer. He was with McCarthy too every time. Okay,
it might be the guy that tells him to get back. There's a guy that's job is to tell him not to go onto the field. Like when he first, he goes, no, get back because he doesn't want like a penalty on him. Or like he also, I think, for like penalty or throwing challenge flags, he helps out too. But there is a guy that does that.
But anyway, so it's about halftime. Clock's going down after like the attempted field goal when they could have got a free kick on that, which we'll talk in a bit too. So they're both running out and they're going. The security guy is literally like gets right in front of him and tells him, "You got to go this way, buddy. We're not letting you through. We're not letting you through." I'm like, how do you not? I'm like the security guy. I'm like, how do you not recognize him at all? Like, how do you just not recognize that that's the coach? Because he literally bumps like LaFleur's going and LaFleur's not stopping, and he said that, and the guy just bumps right into him. I was like, what the heck's wrong with him? Like, I just don't understand that. Like, you gotta do a better job. I mean, I get it's your job, literally. You're supposed to protect the players and the coaches. You gotta recognize that, dude. Like,
that's what you should be fired for.
Exactly. Like,
right?
Professional.
Like, he literally didn't do his job right now. I gotta look this up because I actually didn't know this happened. So this is your breaking news for me.
Yeah.
LaFleur stared him down after, and it's good to see
saw
LaFleur
something.
fired up.
He
LaFleur,
said something.
He wears his emotions on his sleeve, and you can tell he wants it, and you can tell how he's feeling. And a lot of times, and there's been a lot of times this season when we're not playing well, they pan to LaFleur, and he's looking at his sheet on the sideline. He's got his headset on, and he just looks depressed, and he looks like he can't believe what's going on. Mm-hmm. And other times they win, you see the locker room videos, and he's the happiest guy in the room. So I don't know. It's when LaFleur and Love are confident, I think they feed off each other.
Yeah.
And it's hard to stop because you've seen Love. He's shown so much good this season, but it only happens when he's confident. And the Lions game was by far his most confident game of the year.
Oh, definitely. That was the most confident I've seen. Because LaFleur's just an emotional guy. From what we've seen, like, we saw him, like, definitely the behavior when he's on a losing streak, he gets very mad at the team. He gets very mad at the team. So I think this is legitimate. A great win for everyone in the locker room, the coaching, the players, all of that. The nice thing I really was touched on was Jordan Love's, like, he didn't turn on the ball. He was playing smart, being the game manager out there, finding guys open. Like the throw to Jaden Reed between the defenders and Christian Watson, that was one of the best throws I've seen from him. That was definitely one of the best.
All right, guys, I'm watching this video. I mean, he's not really stopping him. They just kind of like collide. Like, I think almost LaFleur runs into him.
Well, he was going up into his space here because LaFleur said in the post-game conference, he's going. He said, I'm not stopping. And the guy was like trying to direct him to go this way. I'm like, I don't know.
Because the girl also was like telling him to go this way.
Yeah, but it was nobody. Everyone was going through that point. When you look at when you look back at it, like when it goes like off the seconds, every Detroit Lions player is heading in there. I was like, what the heck is going on? Because they were coming out there. I was like, what is happening?
He had to secure the field so they could bring out Jack Harlow's igloo.
Yeah, exactly. That was terrible. That was a terrible halftime performance, honestly. I don't understand that. Like, it was so weird. It was so cringy and just weird.
It was a bit weird. I agree.
I just don't get that. But yeah, I really liked we did not stop fighting. There were two things I really liked. We stopped the fourth downs and we were very aggressive. That is something I don't see LaFleur, because when you had Rodgers, they were aggressive a lot. Love, he has not been too aggressive, and we need to see more out of that. But defensively, that was remarkable how we stopped them on multiple fourth downs. The fake punt, I thought we were going to mess up on that. Because I literally said to my dad, I'm like, they're going to run a fake punt. I know it.
Here, I was saying the same thing. Everybody I was with was saying the same thing.
And I was like, I swear, special teams, please do not mess up for us for once in our life. They make the block. They stopped it. I was like, thank goodness, because we are not good historically with special teams. It's just been bad mojo for us. But the fourth down stops, that was critical and crucial. When the guys needed to step up and make a play, boom, they made it. And that was something like forcing a bunch of turnovers, knocking the ball out of Goff's hands, sacking them. That was something, because we need to see this defense get to back where it was when they were aggressive and all that. Now you're kind of seeing that. Question is, can we keep this up? I don't know, but that was great to see, because you see a different momentum, different mojo. Learn from this game and take it all with you for the next game heading to the Chiefs, because you got to have your mindset, because if you lost that Lions game, you're not having a great mindset heading to the Chiefs game. You're going to be low and have low energy. With this, you're going to have high energy and go right into an attack with it.
Yeah, if they lose to the Chargers and they lose to the Lions like everybody thought they would, the season's over.
Yeah.
So they've earned the right to be where they are. And you just got to hope that they can continue that level of play and not play down to the really crappy teams that are coming up.
Exactly. Mike, do you have any thoughts?
On the game?
Yeah.
No, so I was watching this locker room thing. I thought that was interesting. No, the game. So again, I was like half watching. I never do this, but like it was. I had people over, and I had it's just tough with these Thanksgiving games, especially the early one because we eat dinner, but early. But so I thought the defense played really well. Rashawn Gary had an outstanding game, and I actually tweeted this after the game. It was almost like a reversal of a lot of the things that we've said was the problem with the Packers this season. One of the things I said was Rashawn Gary. Maybe I'll pull up the tweet, but Rashawn Gary has been really good, but not elite. Elite plus. That's what I wrote. Elite plus this game. He had that fumble of what do you call it, of Goff, where he hit his arm and the ball came out, and then he recovered it too, if I remember correctly. Is that correct? Or did somebody else recover?
I think that was a Jonathan Owens fumble scoop up one. I think that was the one.
Jonathan Owens got it right and ran back. Yep. So that was a great play. He had some really good sacks in the game. He was always around the ball. He had an outstanding game, and I love to see it from Rashawn because we just gave him a great, huge contract extension, and he's definitely earning it with his play. Especially that, unlike Bakhtiari, we gave him all this money, and then obviously he got hurt. But Rashawn Gary's playing out of his mind right now, so that's been huge to see. Jonathan Owens, right, had a bounce back game from the week before, so that was a guy that looked really shaky. Like, what is he even doing on the field? I mean, he was kind of right in the right place at the right time there.
Yeah, once or twice.
Yeah, any of us could have caught that and ran it into, but he also made some nice plays. I think the secondary played well. Anthony Johnson Jr. is playing good. We're going to get Darnell Savage back, hopefully. So the defense has been playing better. Joe Barry, I've been impressed with. I mean, I think we've I think this defense looks good. Like, look, the defense hasn't given up a lot of points this season, right?
No.
Now, a lot of that is also how they're playing because they know the Packers' offense aren't going to put up a lot of points. So they run the ball a lot. They kind of, lackadaisical down the field. So I'm not going to say I love Joe Barry, but this was definitely a good game for the Packers in defense, like an outstanding game. And I think we really won it starting on the defense. Jordan Love had a great game. I mean, I actually missed the first touchdown, but that pass went through. I think it was more luck than anything, though, because as Love said it wasn't supposed to happen. He doesn't even know himself how it got there. So, but he made some really nice passes, although there was one, again, deep pass that was way short. There's something wrong with Love.
Yeah, he's not good deep.
And he's not. And
at least, he's not.
Well, statistically, he's good, but with the arm, it's just not that. He's not that deep.
But he's got a good arm. It's not the arm. It's just, I don't know. He's throwing it tick slow. He's throwing it tick slow, and he's got it just lofted up there even more. But Christian Watson had a nice touchdown. A lot of the pieces that were struggling played well. A.J. Dillon had a great game. I thought A.J. Dillon.
Yeah, he's turned it around. A lot of Packer fans quit on A.J. Dillon, I think.
Me included. But I saw him running through tackles, keeping his solid. He looked good. Matt LaFleur, I thought, had great play calls at the right times. Dontavian Wicks, another good game for Jaden Reed. So the guys that have been doing good remain good, and the guys that we had some qualms with the past few weeks, I think really picked up on it. So this was a great game right at the right time. And if we could beat the Chiefs, guys, that could be the thing that actually gives us momentum to actually win something this season.
If they beat the Chiefs, it's a lock.
That's it.
Playoff tickets now.
I agree. But here's the thing, right? Like, if you beat the Chiefs, I think we can make the playoffs regardless. I really do. I mean, if I had to put money in, I think they're going to win with the schedule, kind of where we're at. But where this Chiefs game might matter doesn't necessarily matter with the statistics, right?
Yes.
What it does matter, though, is momentum. I think if you go in, you beat the Chargers, right? Pretty good team. I know they haven't played great this year, but they got Justin Herbert, a pretty good team. You beat the Lions. Lions, one of the best teams in the NFC. They blew us out at home, and then we beat them at their place on a national televised game, right?
Yep.
Now you go and you beat the Chiefs. You beat Mr. Swift, Mr. Pfizer, right? Like what Aaron Rodgers called him. And Patrick Mahomes, you beat him in Lambeau. That's something that could win. And then look, the schedule's still same after that. And then we got some key wins to go into the playoffs and maybe say, hey, this team is young, but we're getting healthy at the right time. Hopefully, we'll get Luke Musgrave back at that time. Darnell Savage will be back. Hopefully, we don't know if there's gonna be more injuries, but Aaron Jones hopefully will be back.
Yeah.
It might be everything where maybe you could win a few games and get lucky a few places.
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows at that point? That's what happened with Rodgers. When we won in 2010, did anyone think we were going to win that Super Bowl? No. Rodgers kind of arrived that year, and that was the year that week in, week out, he got better. Now, I'm not getting ahead of myself. I don't think that's going to happen. But if that is going to happen, this is a recipe. It starts this week being the Chiefs because that's a statement win. Being the defending champions, Mr. Pfizer, Patrick Mahomes, Auto, whatever they got. That's it. The Chiefs are the cool kids on the block, right? I don't think they're the best team in the NFL this year, but they got all the they got the State Farm commercials, they got the Pfizer commercials, they got Taylor Swift. Everything is going the Chiefs' ways, right? Just in the NFL world, right? You beat them. This team that was dead in the water a few weeks ago, right? That is going to be the momentum shift that could take this team and propel them to the Super Bowl. If there's one shot, I think we need to win this game. Again, it doesn't matter necessarily for making the playoffs. I think we'll win either way. But if we're going to win the Super Bowl, we're going to win this game.
Yeah, definitely. I like to say three things about this Lions-Packers game real quick. One, the Lions are 0-12 since the NFL merger when the moon is a waxing gibbous phase.
Let it wax, yeah.
Thank you, Twitter. Second one, go change your diaper, Dan Campbell. When you said to your family, oh, you're not going to have to change your diaper for this Packers game. Well, you can go change your diaper, Dan Campbell. Third one, Amon St. Brown learned 11 defensive players that game because he knew no Packers defensive players. His score, 0 tutties, 50 yards, and garbage time football.
Yeah.
There you go. Bring the stats.
Yeah.
Jeremy Valentine shut him down.
Exactly.
Bringing to the hard facts. I don't have much hard facts, guys. Sorry, but no, I think this was a statement game for them. This could propel them, and this Chiefs game is like a flashy game. You get this game, it could really provide a lot of momentum.
And let's not forget here too, the last time these two teams played each other in Arrowhead, Love outperformed Mahomes. Let's not forget that he outperformed him. Now, a lot of the coverage from the defensive coordinator, which I think is going to be different with Steve Spagano from the Chiefs, he did a lot of blitzing. He disrespected the guy. He did a lot of blitzing. The defense did a good job of holding that Chiefs offense. That was also with Tyreek Hill at the time too. Let's not forget that also. So you look at that. Joe Barry could do it. I'm not saying he will, but there's a shot. There's a shot out there. Offensively, I think we can do good. Now,
gotta run the ball.
That's the big thing. We have to run the ball because you look at that Chiefs secondary. It's one of the best in the league. The key for Jordan Love is not going to be turning the ball. I think he's going to throw an interception. I just think he is. But the thing that I think is going to be huge, crucial for the Packers heading into this game is time possession and not turn over the ball. If you win that, you're going to win the football game because that was the recipe for winning that Packers game. Causing turnovers, being aggressive, and holding that time possession. Because you look at the Lions, they did not have much option when the offense was on the field. They had a short amount of time frame to go score. Packers, they had the whole quarter. And that is something I like to see because that happened the opposite way for the Packers when me and Mike streamed the Packers game last year of the Titans game. That was the complete opposite where the Titans, they held us down by holding onto the ball, running with Derrick Henry. Now you see here, this is the recipe for the Packers to win. That's going to be the recipe. Because Mahomes, it's going to be rare for him to turn the ball because he's like Aaron Rodgers. You're facing a magician out there and a wizard. That's going to be hard to go against him there.
I have a bad feeling that Joe Barry's game plan for Patrick Mahomes is the same way he treats almost everybody, which is 3-man rush and soft zone.
With Preston Smith as their CB1, folks.
Yeah. I don't know.
I think the keys are for this game, you need to stop Travis Kelce. You need to keep Mahomes in the pocket. You can't let him run around.
Nope.
The Chiefs don't have a great running game, but they also don't have a lot of receivers other than Kelce. I know they have MBS. He hasn't been playing great.
They got
Rice.
Yep.
Whatever ghosts were watching over Lambeau Field for the Chargers game, causing them to drop pass after pass after pass.
Exactly.
They need to be back and then some. And the Chiefs do drop a lot of passes.
They do.
I mean, they need all the luck they can get.
Exactly.
You're right. They don't have much to throw to other than Travis Kelce.
What about this idea, guys, right? You know how they play music over the loudspeakers, right? And they have like the thing. Why don't they just the whole time, like, you know how we like jump around, like throw all that stuff out the window, right? the whole game, just play Taylor Swift songs, right? And have clips of the Taylor Swift concert on the live board, right? You say that's crazy. Why would you do it? Because think about it. They're going to be sitting on the sideline like, what's going on? We didn't expect this, right? Like you almost play into it, right? Like, are there any rules against it, right? Like you just get in their head, like these guys are just playing, they're like trolling us almost, right? And maybe that'll like take them a step off. I don't know, maybe not.
Well,
but you tell the Packers ahead of time, this is what we're going to do. We're going to just play Taylor Swift stuff the entire game, right? Like, and her face is going to be on the board the whole time. Play into it, right? If he's going to, like that sounds like great. And why not?
Well, there's only one small problem with that.
Why?
Jordan Love doesn't listen to Taylor Swift there. He doesn't.
Well, now he's going to know. You're going to play the whole album, you know?
The whole album. Listen to Taylor Swift is what the report was. Just saying that he doesn't like Taylor Swift music.
But he's going to figure it out. He's going to play everything on the board this year.
That's the only small problem. But I would love to see that. I don't think it will happen because A, they got to show the rest of the games. Second, they got to show the live feed of the game. I say, here's this: you do it on every Packer touchdown and rub in their face and play.
Cool.
That
cool.
would.
I could get down for that.
But then you need to score a touchdown in order for it to happen, right? Like I really just bombard them with it. Like just play this music all day, right? Like the whole album.
I think I'm wondering. I think they should do it for the warm up song. You play a Taylor Swift song, and then I say as soon as a great play happens for the Packers, they play "Shake It Off." Shake it off as soon as like it's a field goal or like the Chiefs mess up. Yeah, just play "Shake It Off."
I think that'd be pretty funny. It just get in their brain, you know. That's it. Just you want to live in their brain a little bit. Take them a step off.
Exactly.
Maybe if they're playing well and leading and looking like they're going to win, I could get behind it.
Yeah, I get it.
We don't want to jinx anything and be playing Taylor Swift down 24-3.
Yeah, right. They're just gonna be saying scoreboard to us for trying to, what do you call it? Yeah, but
exactly.
Is Geraldine what do you call it? Is she a Swiftie?
No, not a Swiftie.
Oh, damn. Okay. I like Taylor Swift. She's not bad, but I would, I wouldn't mind that if, they played it all game. I could deal with that.
I really don't think she's going to be there though.
I don't know. They haven't said anything about it. But here's the thing: like, I don't even know if they have the security protocols to get her in and out. Like, I mean, I guess you can come in like
they might not.
I think they probably do. They'll figure it out.
Probably do. Hold on, let me see the reports of what's the latest news. News with the Lambo.
It'd be great if it snowed. I saw there might be some snow at one point. I don't think we'll be so lucky, but you never know.
I don't know. I kept seeing the reports was supposed to snow, and then like I saw today, it's not supposed to snow. Really, it's just going to be very cold, like 20 degrees, 10 mileage of wind. That's all I saw.
I have another idea, guys. Right, this thing I got this at training camp. Right, get the same people to create this, right, and just put Taylor Swift's face. Give it to every fan when they walk in. You know, why not? They did it for Jordan Love, right? So why not? You seeing it?
Well, then it's going to ruin us if the Packers are down by like 20. Then they're going to put the Taylor Swift stuff.
It's fine. We lost either way, right? You might as well at least mess around with them.
Yeah, that's true.
I think
that's true. Yeah.
We'll see. I don't know. I'm a little scared to read the script for this week. But,
yeah, right.
Let's look forward to the Giants game.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. This should be a good game.
It's a little scary that the Giants are going to be coming off a bye and coming off back-to-back Tommy DeVito wins. They're going to be a confident team, unfortunately. Home game in prime time. So
have they won twice with him? But
yeah,
who they beat the
Commanders and the Patriots. And they barely beat both of those teams.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're good. I'm just saying they're going to be confident.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They did.
If the Packers don't win that game, they don't have any. They don't have any shot being in the playoffs.
I mean, they could have fixed the deadline because the deadline passed for that game to be switched to flex-wise. Mm-hmm. So now it's official that the Packers will be playing on Monday because that could have been flexed to a Sunday game, honestly. So that's because the only one I saw that was flexed in the news was the Eagles-Seahawks game upcoming. So that will be interesting.
Good flex.
That was a good flex. I like that.
I have a problem with it. I have a problem with it. What?
You still think it's a bad flex? Nobody wants to watch Patriots Chiefs.
No,
Maybe there was a better matchup they could have flexed into.
I have a problem with the flexing a Monday night game.
Oh, yes.
If we would have bought the ticket, I didn't even think about this, John. Like, it's a good thing we kind of didn't buy the tickets. But if you were ready to go on Monday, you took days off of work, right? And then it's actually now it's going to be on Sunday, right? Like, you have to actually keep this in mind now that they could change these things, like for travel plans and stuff. And this is why when they were voting on this in the owners' meetings, what do you call it? Mark Murphy said, no, I don't want to do this. The Packers voted against it because this hurts travel. And, Green Bay is such big with people traveling there that if it this added concept could either hurt people in travel or they decide not to come to that game because I don't really know until it's too late. So I don't like that they're doing that. I really don't. It's okay to flex within the day, even though I still don't really love that too because if it's nighttime, right? Like, but if you're gonna get your flight to be that close, you probably shouldn't be doing that. But to take it from a day, like it's a 24-hour difference, like that completely changes people's travel plans. And I don't love it. I don't love it. It's good for TV. Don't get me wrong, but it's not good for people traveling to the game.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think it should I think the rules should be for flexing. It should be on a particular day. So if it's a Monday game, let's say that. I say you can only flex it of like different time wise. Like if it's supposed to be 8 o'clock, flex it to a 7 or 6 o'clock, like something like that, or later even. That's what I'm fine with. Like you switch it to a different time.
It doesn't help them though. That's not the point. The point is they want to get a good game in that time slot.
I know that, but I'm just saying. I just think it's better though. Like it's not smart. I mean, yes, it's smart. I just don't think it's right though. Like you should only do it at a particular time. Like you shouldn't be doing it like late unless it's like very crucial. Unless it's like a very crucial, like it's if it's a Monday game that no one wants to watch. Like if it was, let's say, the Panthers-Bears game earlier, that one I'm fine with switching. It depends really on the game for me, but I don't want to do it if it's like getting down to the wire like 2 weeks out and you just finally make the switch. Like it should be like a 3-week like kind of month go. Like that should be the deadline.
Here's the way it should work, right? In order to buy this ticket on any platform, right, it should have to be a big red sign warning, right? Before you buy this ticket, right, this can change. This is a flexible game that can change. And they should also be forced to refund the guy, right? If you buy it in a change day, you can't go. But say, like if you buy other like flights, hotel, that's on you. So like if we change this on you, that can affect those plans. Warn it, be careful before you buy this ticket, right? Keep that in mind.
Yeah, but on every ticket you get there, especially when you have the printed ones, it always say on every sporting event you ever go to, it says change be necessary of flexible time, like game time might be different. I've seen that on baseball. I've seen it on football.
Okay. I have a problem with that. All right. And the reason why that's there, Jeremy, is it's like a legal out, right? So I can't sue you over it because times are subject to change, right? Okay, but yeah, there's a legal out that things are subject to change and they might not be perfect. Like you can't sue me over it, right? But is that right? Is that moral, right? Like, it's not.
It's unprofessional.
It's unprofessional. Thank you. Right? Like, we got to be thinking about the people that are taking time out of their work week, taking days off of work to come to an NFL game, right? This is not life or death. It's entertainment. And I know they had that there, but the thing is that's just so you can't sue them because they say, hey, judge, you said that there, right? It's just a disclosure. It's not the right thing to do, I don't think. And if they do, then before you buy the tickets, they should disclose it. You're saying on the ticket, well, it's too late then. I already bought the ticket. It already got sent to me, right? So I don't know. I'm sure it says it somewhere in the fine print if you actually read it, but it should be in big red letters, like before you buy it, because I feel bad for anyone who got. I'm sure there's people out there that were supposed to go to that Seahawks game, right? It's getting flexed now from Monday to Sunday, have all this travel, and like their flight is messed up because, like John, when we went to the game on Sunday, right? You left on Monday, right? Yeah. So you think about it, you probably would come on Saturday, and then you'd leave Tuesday if it was a Monday night game, right? Now, like Saturday, now it's a Sunday night game, and you have to like make sure you get there in time. I don't know. It just it changes things when it's a different day of the week with travel than it is if it's just like, well, it's a 1 o'clock versus a 8 o'clock game. It's on the same day, right? And so
the Packers, we've got this game on Sunday, and then we have one more primetime game, and it's the New Year's Eve game, Sunday Night Football against the Vikings. And it looks for a few weeks like that was going to be a flex, and that was going to be two crappy teams. But the Vikings have been winning games, not recently, but earlier in the season they went on a little bit of a run. The Packers have been winning games, and now that looks like a game that's probably a play-in for a wild card spot. And so I don't know. I hope that one's not going to get flexed. I hope you don't have too many big plans for New Year's Eve.
Yeah, it's New Year's Eve, right? True. Damn, it should have flexed that, or we go to a club to watch the game. I don't know. You think they're playing in the clubs? We'll go to Stadium View.
Stadium View might be the biggest club in Green Bay.
Yeah,
might be.
All right, cool. Yeah, I didn't want to go on a tangent there. So what's our next topic?
I was going to go over the quick. Well, actually, there's two things I want to talk about. Well, we can talk about the last one real later.
And also, don't forget my surprise thing.
Oh yeah.
Oh, this will be. Oh, sorry. This will be very quick of the segment here. The Packers have 5 top 80 draft picks right now. Top 80. That includes the Jets' second round pick. And here's another statistic for you guys. Ever since Sauce Gardner wore the cheesehead in Lambeau Field, the Jets have been 4-10. That's something to keep an eye out for. Also, look at the Bills.
And they became Packers East or Green Bay East.
Exactly.
Man, they're all terrible.
And if you look at the Bills, they've gone down too. Packers have back-to-back picks in the third round for that, which is the pick 80. Let me remind you, folks. Pick 80 and what was the other one I had? Pick 80 and 79. So the Packers right now, they have good draft picks right now. Whether they make the playoffs or not, they're still going to have a great draft cap value because the Jets pick for the second round right now is currently the 7th overall pick in the second round. That's pretty good. So the key, and this will be very quick, I want to share my screen, which will get to Mike's announcement very soon here. The thing I want to talk about is the rooting guide for this week. Now, we mentioned of who we want to win, but we didn't mention of who everyone wants to win.
Just make sure to do it in the other one, too, so Twitter has it.
Hold up.
I love the playoff machine.
If I can
spend hours on the playoff machine.
I like the New York Times one better because that one you have to pick every game. That's what I don't like about this one. That one you could pick.
This one helps me here, my segment, sir. All right, so now I'm sharing both. All right.
Well, no, I don't see it on that one. You have it up, but I don't see it.
Did you click on it? Click on the side.
Oh, I need to.
Yeah.
My bad.
Okay. We good?
Wait. Sorry. Add to stage. All right, we're good.
Okay. I'll wrap this up quick and then we'll get to Mike's thing. This is the rooting guy here for us boys. For the Packers to make the postseason and the Packers get great draft cap value. First one, we need the Cowboys to win for the playoff wise. We need the Buccaneers to win because we do not want the Bears to get that first overall pick.
We don't.
Then.
We want the Panthers to win.
Panthers to win. Excuse me. We want the Panthers. That's what I meant. Panthers to win here, guys. Second game, we want the Patriots to lose because they can get ahead of the Panthers, hopefully. Steelers and Cardinals, we want the Cardinals to suck, so we want the Steelers to win this. This game, I will say Colts because they somehow have a shot, and Titans are going down, so that helps us out there. This game really doesn't matter much to us, just a draft cap value. But I'll pick Houston just because why not? This game kind of determines a bit here. You can have the Saints win for draft cap value. You can have the Saints win for us to get back in division competition. But I think that's out of the question. We're not winning the NFC North. That's out of it. So for the sake of it, I want the Lions to win here because it helps the Packers get into the postseason a bit more. Falcons, we need that because we need the Jets to suck. Dolphins, we need the Commanders to suck so we get higher the Bears getting out of there. 49ers, you need them to win because you want to make sure they fight for it against Seattle and the Rams in the late couple weeks there, depending on where the Rams are at. This game, we want the Browns to win because we want the Rams to lose. Even though we have the tiebreaker, still kind of want the Rams to lose just to keep a safe bid for us, a safe container for us. Packers, we all know we want them to win. But is it going to happen? Most likely not. So I'll be realistic for that, of course. But if we do win this week and the Seahawks lose, we're in the postseason picture, folks. And then to wrap it up here, we want the Jags to win it. Just so, because the Bengals are going down fast.
With that, we end the weekend. Who would have thought?
That's how you do it, boys. You're your draft cap value, and your postseason. So this is the rooting guide for all you Packer fans out there.
I gotta put my rooting guides together again. That's the thing I used to do.
I was waiting for that.
I
Mike.
love a rooting game.
I know, guys. Sorry, I gotta get it. I had the platform. We're up to 275 followers on the account, so I had the platform to share it. I gotta start doing it again.
So yeah, that is your rooting guide here, ladies and gentlemen, of the Packers getting great draft cap value and getting into the postseason. So benefit of both ways here and there. It's like your team wins the Super Bowl and you're getting a decent draft pick. That was the Eagles last year, and look what happened. They got Jalen Carr out of that. So yeah, that was what I wanted to share real quick about that. Yeah, and now we will head to breaking news here, ladies and gentlemen, if I find my marker here. Head to breaking news.
Look at that. I didn't expect that.
And now we break news from
We
Mike.
didn't even get that on Twitter. Sorry, Twitter audience. Jeremy basically played a CNN kind of breaking news kind of thing.
I was looking at the YouTube one.
That's pretty cool. You got to send that to me next time.
I will send that. But yes, Mike is here from the studio live here, ladies and gentlemen. We got breaking news from Mike. What do we got here, Mike?
Right, so it's not really breaking news. I mean, it came out like yesterday or the day before. Here, let me get it off screen so then I don't. But this is big news, at least to me, and I think John it's big news, and I think for you, Jeremy, too, it's big news.
Okay.
So let me do the window. Let me share this. 1 second. I have to do it that way. Whatever. You'll see it in YouTube first.
Okay.
And then,
all right.
Yep. There we go. Sorry.
Ooh,
big reveals, John.
Yes.
I had not heard about this.
This is a big thing. I'll explain to you guys why. And actually, I want to. What do you call it? I want to clip this, Jeremy. We have to figure out how to clip this.
This is important.
I want to send this to like a few people and get my ideas out there because this could be huge, right? All right. Let me get my news break with you. So I saw this earlier today. Apparently, the Appleton Airport, right, which is the third biggest airport in the state of Wisconsin. So I'm assuming Milwaukee's number one.
Right.
Madison, I would assume, is number two, and then Appleton is apparently number three. Appleton is a city, like a
lovely place,
smaller city, right outside of Green Bay, about 35 minutes away. I've actually never used the Appleton Airport. Usually, when I go to
very
Lambeau,
nice.
Yeah, John has. But you have to do a stop. It's a stop in Chicago, right? Right.
Chicago or Detroit or Minneapolis.
Right. So right now, if you're traveling, so we're all Packers transplants over here. John and I are from New York. Jeremy's from around Philadelphia. So if you want to get the Lambeau, you either have to go to Chicago and then do a connecting to Appleton or Green Bay, Chicago drive up, or go to Milwaukee and drive up. Usually what I've been doing now is go to Milwaukee and drive up, but it's about a 2-hour drive from Milwaukee to Green Bay. So what that means is, you need to have access to a car. So you have to be over 25 at least. If Jeremy wanted to go to Lambeau himself, it's going to be pretty tough. You have to get on a bus, like a Greyhound bus somehow, and figure out a way to get up to Green Bay. But apparently Appleton, right, is got approval for a $66 million expansion to the airport. John, maybe you could speak since you've actually been in this airport, how it looks. But I just want to, run this by and kind of explain how this could have big implications. So apparently they're upgrading a beer garden so you can get a beer before, your flight, which Jeremy, congratulations again, or happy birthday to be 21.
Happy birthday.
We just got to teach you how to drink some spotted cow the next time. Yeah. Sensory and quiet rooms if you're need that when you're traveling. Expanded boarding area. But here's the thing. Here's
that's the big one.
The big one. Added gates paved the way for more flights. So here's the thing, right? Like we want to get the Lambeau, but we don't want to live in Green Bay. I think that's probably the consensus here for probably most people watching. So the way to do that is to get more flights and more direct flights from different parts of the country. So here's the big guy right here. Allegiant Air recently added direct flights between Appleton and Newark in New Jersey beginning May 17th. So I did some research.
It's a game changer.
It is a game changer, right? So if you go on Allegiant's website, and I know that because Tyler Herrick, the Cheesehead TV guy, he lives in Arizona, and I knew that they were doing these direct flights from Arizona to Appleton a while back. but obviously they weren't from New York. But now they're doing it from Newark. So here's the flights. They're every Monday and Friday from May 2024 to August 12th, 2024. So it seems like it's like they're trying to. It's like a test to see if there's enough market here for them to continue it. So it ends actually before the football season, which is interesting. So I actually read it. And I think I know
It's
the
a
reason
starting point,
why.
though.
It's a starting point, but I think I know the reason why. I think the reason is these flights are for like, people in Wisconsin to travel to New York. So you want to go to New York for a summer vacation. Well, you go to Appleton and you come. So I don't think they have the Packers in mind, and I think they're missing out because if they actually expanded this to be during the NFL season, now you get all the Packers fans from New York have an easy way to get to Lambeau Field because the John knows about this, but I did the drive from Appleton to Lambeau Field, 33 minutes. That's it, right? Yeah. And there's actually no public transportation, which is a little bit disappointing because then somebody like Jeremy, who's not 25 and can't really rent the car, right, could get from Newark to Lambeau Field.
This is amazing.
Without anything. I mean, right? You could take an Uber, I guess.
Yeah,
it's probably not that much, say $80. You could take an Uber. But there should be some kind of public transportation, some kind of bus to Appleton to Lambeau. And this is what we were talking about with the draft, right? Like the draft is going to bring some of these things to Lambeau because they're forced almost, right? They're like, oh, God, we got all these people coming here, right? We have to have a way for them to get in and out easily because we can't expect everyone to have a car. And if everyone has a car, right,
no parking.
There's going to be no parking. Exactly. So we need people a way to get bodies in and out of the city, right, in an efficient way. And this is, John, you live in New York City. This is why the subway system exists, right? Because we've got a way to get people around without having a car per person. It just doesn't work. There's no way that's going to happen. So I think this is what's going to happen. You're going to see probably the Appleton Airport get a lot of money behind it because of the draft. You're going to see probably new flights come in, like a Legionnaire, right? So, like, if they bring – and it can make it so easy to go to Lambeau where, maybe you wake up at, like, Saturday, you get on the flight, you go to Appleton, you go to Lambeau, you're back in New York by the end of the day. Obviously, it's probably – but maybe instead of taking 2 days or 3 days in Lambeau, you take only 1 or 2. Like, you make it real quick. And the flights are pretty cheap. They were $100, I think, $80 each way on the Legion. So I've never taken a Legion flight. Maybe it's not too comfortable. But it's a short flight anyway. As long as it get up and down safely, it's all good. Right?
I've been waiting for a flight like this for a long time. And if they're investing $60 million or whatever it was into the airport to make it bigger and add more gates, you got to think whether it's adding more than just Monday, Friday, or other airlines or going to LaGuardia instead of Newark. It's got to be just a starting point.
It's just a starting point. Absolutely. Absolutely. So then this Allegiant, I think, has nothing to do with the expansion. So it's kind of two things. Yep. I just kind of noticed it, but they're already doing this flights regardless of the expansion. So I agree. When they do the expansion, I think probably maybe you get like a United flight or an American Airlines flight in addition to this Allegiant one. That really will open things up. So, it's going to make it a lot easier for people from New York to travel to Lambeau where, maybe you could go to a few games a year without having to pay a real expensive flight to go to Milwaukee or maybe a cheaper flight to go to Chicago, but then drive 3 hours each way. And especially in the snow, right? Who wants to drive in the snow? But if 30 minutes, right? That's doable. I could do that. So, that's huge. That is big news.
And Appleton Airport will sell you spotted cow after security, so you can stick it in your bag and bring it home.
Right. Also, Milwaukee Airport. I think all the Wisconsin airports. But yeah. So I don't know. This was exciting to me. It's real exciting. Unfortunately, Jeremy, it doesn't seem like they're going to Philadelphia just yet. But Newark's not too far for you.
No, you can get to Newark pretty easy.
I'll sometimes do what my family always do is like we go from Philadelphia, we got to go to Chicago or Milwaukee because like it's right near where my relatives live, so we'll live out there. But like, I think it's kind of like, can we scroll up to the map again, Mike, of the thing?
Because maps.
Yeah. So we're looking here. We zoom it out a little bit. Okay. Yeah. So, okay. So right there, we're looking here at the airports surrounding the place. You got Appleton up there. You got Milwaukee. Madison, I think, is going to have to be the airport expansion because you got to plan out.
You can't sleep on Madison.
You can't be. And Chicago's definitely going to have a big thing where they're going to drive because a lot of people from the East Coast go from there. So that's going to be a big thing. And you're going to have to look. There are going to be a bunch of connecting flights, obviously. But you're gonna have to look. I know Chicago, since I've been there, of the airport, they've expanded in the recent years, so that's a big thing there. So you're gonna have to see here, Madison, like some of the, like Appleton, for example, you're gonna see multiple airports throughout the area expand a bit. You're gonna have to big up like Green Bay. It's not that big. You gotta expand that. Milwaukee, it's not that big either. You gotta expand it a little bit more also. So that's gonna be a big thing with Appleton. What's doing right now, you're gonna have to see it from Milwaukee, Madison. I mean, Chicago's already done it because what they did, Mike, was they influenced the subway. They've influenced a subway, and that's what I had to take when I'm like renting
in Chicago.
Yeah, in Chicago. When I'm renting a car, for example, well, when my family rents us a car, we go on the subway and we get to it. It takes us right after there from the airport because it takes us right to the cart rental place. It takes us right to that.
It's a monorail, you mean?
Yeah, it's monorail.
Yeah, monorail. Yeah.
So we're gonna have to see that with Appleton. We're gonna have to see about now Milwaukee.
No, they're not gonna get a monorail in Appleton. That's only big airports have that.
Okay.
It's
but I know for Milwaukee, it's like right across the airport. It's like right across the street. You just have to cross one road over. But again,
pretty easy.
Yeah, but again, you're gonna have to see these airports expand because again, the public transportation, that's not a thing, but that should be a thing up there.
Agree.
And they got to get the railroads back up in business again. I feel like too.
I agree. From Milwaukee to Green Bay, they need a railroad to go there. But honestly, this all could be null and void. The railroad, forget about even that. If you built this airport up a lot, right, where you have multiple flights coming in from major hubs, right, into this area during Packers games, right, that could be big. Here's the thing with flights. I'm not a flight scheduler. I don't work in the airline industry, but I don't know if they have to be like routine. Like look at the Allegiant one. I mean, this is pretty interesting, right? It's every Friday and Monday for this period, right? So it's probably easier for them to pick certain days because, you know, flights like this, like budget airlines, like Allegiant, Frontier, Spirit, right? I noticed that Frontier too, they do this where they're only on certain days. So you can't like say like, oh, I want to go on a Tuesday, come back on a Thursday. Like in American Airlines, there's so many flights. You kind of have to pick and choose if you just want to go on those. It has to be Monday and Friday. But what's great about this for football games, right, is you take the flight up Friday and you come home Monday. That's perfect. That's exactly what you want to do, right? So like it almost is great. The problem is it ends right before the season starts. So I don't know if they're going to add on to it and maybe it just hasn't been released yet, or it's just like a teaser right now and they're just trying to see the summer. But honestly, I think the summer is not as important here. It's really actually let's push it back a few months and do it for the football season. But I don't know if they're thinking about that. So I guess what I want to clip and get this on Twitter is Allegiant CEO or scheduling people. Great idea. We're all behind it, but let's just do it during the football season. But I think there's going to be a lot of Packer transplants from the New York area that will want to go to Lambeau on a routine basis. And this Friday, Monday flight is perfect. The only problem is the flight from Appleton to New York is like 7:40 in the morning, so it's a little bit early. But
that's all right.
It's 30-minute drive, so it's fine. You wake up at 5 a.m., you get there. And Appleton Airport's so small, you don't really need to get there that early. So 7:40 is fine. The time we'll deal with, but move it Fridays, Mondays during the football season. I'm telling you, that's going to be a successful wrap.
The sad thing is that $60 million or whatever it is they're putting into the airport, that's probably the same as one Joe Barry contract.
Yeah, I know. But see, this is the stuff that matters because, right, no one really wants to live in Wisconsin. I'd like to have a house there one day, but I don't think I'd ever want to live there day in, day out. No offense.
We probably got some listeners who disagree.
Again, to each their own, right?
We are the Packer fans after all.
But it is, you know, I think it's a great thing. So I'm excited. We'll see kind of how this goes. I'll definitely be keeping tabs on it. But, you know, it took my dad's been a Packers fan since he was a kid. And it took, granted, he doesn't like to travel, so it's not really just the logistics, but it took a long time for us to get up to Lambeau. Now it's a lot easier now going to Milwaukee. I have a way to do it. But if you could get to Appleton nonstop and not have to, you know, connect, that's big. That's big time saving. So I'm all for this, and I definitely wanted to share it for the stream because it's an exciting.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
On a separate note, I think the last contribution I have today is I just saw a comical tweet. Joe Barry gave a lengthy dialogue during his press conference today about how Sean Clifford has done such a great job replicating what Patrick Mahomes does in the pocket and has really helped the defense prepare for Mahomes. So take that how you will. Maybe we have something in Sean Clifford.
I like Sean Clifford. I think he's good. He hasn't got any play time whatsoever. I was gonna do a Love has a lot of escalators in his contract for like 65% playing time. I was gonna start doing a tracker for that, but Love has got 100% of the snaps. I don't think anyone else has played quarterback unless you view like Dontavian Wicks passes as.
He's got 100%. I think.
I think actually you got to view Dontavian Wicks passes as a thing. So he's probably got like 99.98% or something. But he's the only. It's him and Dontavian Wicks, the only ones that have thrown passes for the Packers this year. So there's not much to calculate there. He's going to hit that 65%. But the thing is, Sean Clifford, I like what we haven't. We haven't seen much of him, but he seems like a good player. So
yeah, definitely.
So yeah, so that's all. That was my breaking news. I thought it was a big thing, but I think we're going to continue to see this as the draft leads up. This kind of stuff. John, are you considering going to the draft?
I don't know. Probably not.
No?
I feel like. I mean, I don't know. It's a year and a half away, so I've got some time to think about it.
Uh-oh.
But
we got people calling me out in the comments.
I like the experience of going to Lambeau, and you better not be rooting for the tank. I like the experience of going to Lambeau and being surrounded by Packer fans and like-minded people. I don't know how. I'm sure it'd be a lot of fun, but taking the trip, I'm sure everything's going to be doubly expensive for the draft.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be the same when you're. It's not just Packer fans.
I think there's going to be so much going on around at that time. It's going to be like almost a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I mean, do you think the draft goes back to Green Bay anytime soon? That's why I'm definitely going to do it.
I went to the draft when it was in Philly. It was pretty great.
Yeah,
so,
I did. I was there
too.
A
lot of fun.
And I used to go in Radio City all the time. But I went to the one in Philly. That's the last one I've been to. So, who's this? We got a commenter here.
I have no idea. This person said in the comments.
Look at that. Somebody's been watching us because he knows I was for the tank. Now look, obviously this was a big win. I did not expect the Packers to win this.
Two big wins.
Two big wins, yes.
Exactly, two big wins. So the tank is kind of out of the garage at this point. We just got to win at this point and see where it goes. But I don't know. I don't think this team's a Super Bowl contender. But if we can make the playoffs, maybe you win a game. Who knows at that point? Just like back in 2010. So no, I'm not for the tank. But if you obviously this game I don't think matters for the playoffs. But if you lose two games, like here and lose to the Falcons, then we could be caught in no man's land again, where we won a few games and now we just hurt our draft pick. So that's the give and take here. Is if you're not going to win the Super Bowl, what's the point of keep winning? But I have seen some progression. I've seen a lot of like heart and kind of Rashawn Gary's really became a leader. I think became a leader, and I'm liking that. So I'm liking some of the progression I've seen the past few weeks. So I'm a little bit more upbeat. I think you can say that, and it seems like Croc has been watching us. So yeah, I admit I was a little bit down on the Packers a few weeks ago. Still not super happy, but I think this was a big win for us. I don't think anyone can really deny it. So we got to take what we're given, and this week that was a big win for us. So I'll take the heat. You can give me the heat all you want.
Look, no. I mean, if you ever want to have some nostalgia, look at the depth chart from 2010 when they won the Super Bowl. It's an unbelievable roster. And sadly, if you look at the depth chart from like 2021, 2020, both of those rosters were Super Bowl rosters. And then you look at now, and it's not even close. But it's always fun to make the playoffs, and you can't. I've always been of the mindset you can't root for the tank until you're like mathematically eliminated.
Yeah,
so you just never know.
I agree. You never know, and I maybe I'm more of a cynic than most people. But hey, here's the thing: if we do make the playoffs and the Packers somehow get a home game, and they probably only get the one home game, it might give you a reason to go to a Packers playoff game, right? Because there's no chance that we're going to get an NFC Championship game in Lambeau this year. That's out of the window.
Don't you have to win the division to get a home game?
Well, yes. It pretty much is unless the entire top seeds lose. The Eagles lose, the 49ers lose, like all those teams lose. So theoretically, if you win the division, that's how you host the game. So we could be going to it could be the Packers-Eagles, for instance, guys.
I mean, we can all go to Philly and
That's true.
I'll
Good
probably have a rough time of it.
Yeah,
but
probably have a few guys knocking me out. Probably because I pissed them off more than anybody else.
Jordan Love plays well in Philly, though.
He does.
Jeremy said that he wasn't going to wear a Packers jersey anywhere near that stadium. I'm wearing a Packers jersey.
I mean, I will wear it, but I am staying
they can
next
pour
to
some beer on me.
That's not my concern there, Mike. That's more than that. More than just beer. Beer is fine.
Look, I don't think if you don't like mess around with people, I mean, they might give you like the kid like put a middle finger. Did you see that? The guy was walking down on the Eagles and he put it like whatever. You want to do that to me, kid? Like I really don't care. Like I'm not gonna. Where it draws the line is right. Like people like knocking you out in the state. Like you really
draw the line there, yeah.
Yeah, but you really think people are gonna want to go to jail over like because you have a jersey on? Like, come on.
I don't know. I think I know some Eagles fans that would want to go to jail if they lost to Jordan Love in the first round of the playoffs.
And they saw you with the jersey on, maybe.
Probably as 13-point favorites.
I think you'd have to like really like get them going. And knowing me though, I'd probably get them going a little bit.
Yep.
I don't know if I want to go to MetLife with you anymore.
I had a guy yell at me on what do you call it? A Jets fan when we played the Jets a few years ago when Devontae Adams walked off touchdown, and I don't know. I was just rooting for the Packers. I was not causing any issues whatsoever. And the guy's like yelling back at me like, "Shut the fuck up!" And I'm like, "Oh, sorry, I was cursing on the street." But I was like, "Oh yeah, like come find me." He never showed up.
Jeez.
But no, I don't cause issues. I just look if you're gonna go to the game, even if you're an away team, right? You should be able to root for your team.
Exactly.
You paid a lot of money for the tickets. You should be able to root for your team. Just like they can, you can root it. But it's got to be all good fun. It's just a football game at the end of the day. I'm not going to fight anybody over a game. But I think we can heckle back and forth a little bit.
Yeah, I
hope the Packers blow out the Giants and it's all green by the end of the game. Kind of similar to what the Lions did when they came to Lambeau.
Yeah. Right, that's what happened last time we played the Giants. Last time we played the Giants, it was a snow game, London. Actually. It was no, in New York.
It was London we played them.
No, I mean in New York. Sorry, I didn't say that. In New York, in MetLife, it was a snow game. It was like real bad. And everyone left at the end of the game. The Packers won that game pretty handedly. And it was all Packers fans at the end. It was fun. But I don't think it's going to be a snow game I haven't really looked at the forecast. But I hope not because it's going to be tough to get out there on a Monday night.
Well, I wouldn't hate it. I don't know. Trains should be okay if there's a little snow.
Yeah. So
you're driving. That's very different.
Well, that's why I got to figure out what I'd do. I'd probably just take the train. If your guys are going to go down, I'll probably take the train. But we can figure that offline. But maybe I actually took the next day off. So maybe I'd, I don't know, hotel in the city, so I have to go home. But or I could just go home. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah,
all right. So have any more, what do you call it? Segments, or are we good?
I'll give the update here, folks. The update of the Seattle Seahawks Cowboys game. The Seahawks are currently winning 21-20. Seahawks threw a touchdown like with 20 seconds left before halftime. The guy dropped it. I believe it was I forget if it was Jackson Smith-Njigba or DK Metcalf. Drops it, but on the play there was pass interference on the defense. Puts the Seahawks all the way at the 1 yard line. 7 seconds left. They get in. And that's why the Seahawks are up now. So thank you, Mike McCarthy. We're trying to count you for one time here, buddy. Do us a D here. Do your D.
That's potentially problematic. I don't know. It was always the Vikings we were chasing more than the Seahawks.
Yeah,
considering we got to play them. But I don't know. I still think Dallas wins, but we'll see.
I hope so. Because
it's only 1 point at halftime, so.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, if you're watching the stream, go watch this game after. It's a big for the Packers, but if you're watching it the whole time, I can't even watch it. My sister changed my Amazon Prime account Black Friday or something. It was like 6 months free to switch to a student account, even though she's not a student. And now I can't access my account. I need to figure this out.
Go enroll in a random university, Mike, and just like make it accountable.
Here's actually the thing you can do. I actually did this for something. So it was like a student account, right? And all it asked was your name, your school, and your birthday. That's it. Just those three items. Yeah. So guess who I picked, right? I picked Caleb Williams, right? I Googled him up. Caleb Williams. When was he born, right? So I said Caleb Williams, right? He went to USC, right? And his birthday's on Wikipedia. So I put that in, right? It said, you've been verified. Let me get the student pick. So that's what do you call it? unethical life pro tip for anybody there trying to get the student discount. If you only ask for those 3 items, just pick a random sports player, college football player,
It's pretty
and
fun.
then you can get a student discount. Yeah.
Sweet. All right.
I mean, it doesn't affect them. You put your credit card in, right? All you're doing is getting the cheaper rate. So
exactly. All right. I think that's about it. We could wrap it up here.
All right. We want to. What do you call it? Where we can find us? What do you guys been up to?
John can start first.
Yeah, John's first.
Packing the Beanstalk on Twitter. I've been enjoying this little run, and I hope it continues. And I look forward to Sunday night, and I look forward to seeing you guys on a Legionnaire.
Yeah, right. We'll be this is gonna be a Legionnaire flight with all Packers fans. It's gonna be like one of those Bills flights or when it's going to the Super Bowl. Yeah, so you guys can find me on Twitter at Arvo15 there, or now like the PackReacts podcast. I've been just kind of really focusing on that. I don't really even do anything on my personal anymore. I wanted to make the announcement. We are now up to 200 and let me get the official number as of right now. 276 followers.
Woo!
So thank you guys for following. I'll be honest, they aren't all from people watching the podcast. I followed a lot of people recently, and we've gotten a lot of follows back. So thank you. Hopefully we get some new viewers. And I promise you guys won't be disappointed. One, for the podcast. Hopefully from the account too, try to put up some good content. But I think we got a good thing going here with the podcast. Thanks, John, for joining. John's been a loyal guest here, and he's going to be a recurring guest. We've had talks about this. So really, John at his leisure can come on whenever he wants. And for anybody, if you're a new follower of this channel or Twitter page, effectively what we're just a fan-run Packers podcast. But really, we're focused on the fans, not the team. We are focused on the team. But what we really want to do is we want to grow relationships among the fans and kind of give people an outlet to talk about the team that may not otherwise. Because that was always a place I was. You watch Cheesehead TV, you watch Ann Herman, get a lot of good information from these guys. They don't really bring on fans. They hardly ever bring on fans. So that's what I want to see here. I want to see, an ability to bring on fans. We've had this idea. I really haven't acted upon it. But if you guys are watching and you're one of our new followers, my goal at the end of the year, like Jeremy gives his follower goals, is 1,000 followers by the end of the season. So if we can get to 1,000 followers, I'm going to post. Let's see how many people we can get to join just as fans. We had 2 fans last week, right?
Yep. We had 2 fans.
Shout out to them. Do you remember their name? The account
Packers Digital and Lambeau Post.
Right, and we had 2 guys there that part of the Packers blogosphere, but haven't really been able to talk in the podcast thing. That's a big thing. Look, you could be behind the computer, right? Like John, right? Like you were doing the Twitter page for a while. You have more followers than we do, right? So you have a bigger platform, but it was all through text on Twitter, right? This is kind of a new thing for you, where now you could actually go and talk and
and it's awesome.
It's awesome, right? So this is something that's tough. And look, Jeremy's the architect of this thing, not me. Jeremy's the guy here. But what we do have now, right, is a way for people to come on and kind of express their thoughts live and in person. Well, not in person, but virtually. And I think that's powerful. So anyone who's watching, definitely feel free to reach out. We want to get Packers fans on. Even if you're not a Packers fan, you're an NFL fan, or just interested in joining the conversation, we can. I think we're going to have a bigger draft party this year, right, Jeremy? So
yes,
I'm going to keep building this follower page. That's my main focus right now, is get the follower count up. And then hopefully, we have more viewers. Like we got Croc Collections here watching us. But definitely take part in the chat. We're going to show it off on the screen. So hopefully, big things to come. I'm liking the progress we've made so far this season, Jeremy. So
you guys are killing it.
We're just focusing on the podcast, focusing on the Packers. And I have bigger things with doing the videos with you, Jeremy, like the blogs and stuff. But I think we got to focus on the podcast from my side. So
that's fine.
Doing that, so that's good. And Jeremy's doing a lot over there. Jeremy does everything.
Yeah, so you guys always know where to find me on this channel here. Trying to get to 300. We are very close. I think the last time I checked, we are 36 subs away, kind of right where Twitter is for us, where we're close to 300. So Twitter most likely get there before me. But hey, if you haven't subbed, please go sub. Try and do it. Taking a break from the YouTube-wise of videos just because finals are around. So after finals of next week, I'm going right back on it. Probably doing a fantasy football video wise of what it's like to be a fantasy football fan, it's not fun, folks. It's not fun as a football fan here. But yeah, so I'll be doing that, and January I'll be going through a lot of content. I'll be making an Aaron Rodgers career video, so I'll be putting that out because that's something I've always wanted to do. I didn't get a chance to wait till last year because of schoolwork. So yeah, getting my hands around there. And I do like to say one thing that Jim Carrey said one time, folks.
So you're telling me there's a chance? Yeah!
Oh, I'd like to mention Jim Carrey there, folks.
Yeah.
I'd like to mention that.
Twitter people, it was you telling me there's a chance. The name of our episode today. So it all comes full circle.
Exactly. All right. We like to say one thing, folks. One thing.
Go.
Back.
Go.
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 Back.